I've been somebody who attached my worth to how well I did academically. But unfortunately, that thing which I held pressure that I felt like gave me value or gave me my identity got torn to pieces, and I was so mad. I went into depression. I was depressed. I really considered myself a failure, and it was just a word that came from God that brought me out of that. Because I was like thinking of how I'm going to use the knife to unalive myself. Hello everyone and welcome to this space. This is the Hustle Girl podcast. Just in case you're seeing me for the first time, I am Blessing Chukwuneke and it's such an honor to be here. Yes. So today I thought of what to share with you guys, and I thought of talking about dealing with failure. So I've been this very competitive person. Remember in JS1, we had this test that we took, I think in integrated science or so, and or social studies. I can't remember the subject clearly now. So I was top in the class. I scored 9/10, but it wasn't enough for me. And I cried my eyes out that day. I remember sitting on the staircase leading to our classroom, and a senior saw me there and asked why I was crying, and I said, I failed my test. I did bad in my test. And they asked, okay, what's the score? Because like they kind of concerned, like what happened, and maybe probably the excited is maybe I scored 0 because that would be a shocker to everybody. Or I scored 1 or something like that, right? And I scored 9/10. That was like a no brainer that caused like, girl, there's no reason for you to cry. You scored 9/10, and on top of that, you were the top person in your class. So what's the crying for? But within me, there was just this thing always that always made me like just push to be at the top. And top for me as a 10-year-old was 10/10, right? If I could go overboard, maybe like an 11 or 100/10, if that was possible, I would grab it, right? So for me, it wasn't enough to just pass and be top. I needed to have like a perfect score, right? So that was failure to me at that time. It was failure. I'm probably just like, it was failure to me. Like, thinking of it now is just quite funny. But that was failure to me. So I've been somebody who attached my worth to how well I did academically. So, but you might want to say, oh, this might be like pressure from home or something. But no, my parents owned the school, and they didn't really they didn't really like put pressure on you. Just like, they just need us academically. The kids excelled. Maybe some not top of the class, but I think they were like top 3, stuff like that. So they didn't put so much pressure. My mom really didn't. She wanted you to do it, but not, she didn't like say, oh, maybe when you come to her and say, oh, the people that came to first in your class, do they have 2 heads and stuff like that? We didn't get any of that. So yeah, but for me, I think I had this precedence of always doing well. So I think the last time I got anything less than first position, which was third position, was in primary one, right? And all through it has been like, I think primary one first term, right? And all through that it has been like first. So the way I gathered my primary school result report card, like, because it like contained everything, right? I gathered it so well. But unfortunately, that thing which I held pressure that I felt like gave me value or gave me my identity got torn to pieces, and I was so mad when I saw that my youngest sister like destroyed it. She was playing. I was like, oh, I don't know what kind of play was that. But that was like, oh my god, this was something I guarded. It was like, I went to the boarding school and came back and was like, where's my card is gone. So that was like, I was holding on to that as something that defined me. So, and over the years, it became like something that I associate that gave me my sense of worth. You know, when you always have a stuff doing so well and you feel it's always very terrible. So in first semester, I had either 6B and 5As or something like that, or 4As. I think 6Bs, 4As, and I went into depression. I was depressed. I didn't know. I was like I already considered myself a failure, and it was just a word that came from God that brought me out of that thing. Because I was like thinking of how the first scenario I'm going to use the knife to unalive myself, right? I was really thinking of scenarios of unaliving myself, like, but I just really think that I move past that because I already considered myself a failure. You see that you have people like Kendall Jenner being the top highest paid model at the time. And then you see Kylie being the youngest self-made billionaire. And those were the things that I watched. So for me, my sense of worth, okay, I want to be a model, but I can't be a model. So I have this thing going on for me. I have my academics all put together. You're like, so I should at least do very well in that, right? But I didn't, but that didn't happen. And like, it was like my sense of what was taken away by that one thing that I, like everybody praised me for. Oh, and I said, okay, maybe I'm not that beautiful, but I'm intelligent. I would like that kind of well, I call it a consolation or something that I attach my word to. So it was like taken. So it was a huge blow. But yeah, I got out of it. And that was like, that's a phase. So I didn't know how to handle feeling well. I eventually got out of it with God's help, and I tried, and eventually um, graduated with 4.3, right, from the university. So masters came. I was like, okay, I'm rooting for like a first class. I was gonna get a first class and stuff like that. I was close to first class in first degree, so this master's degree I was gonna get was going to be like a first class degree. I had that. I want to get the distinction and stuff like that. But things happened the way it happened, and God, it went so bad, right? And I still went back in that bar of self blame or blaming other people or saying if I did, like, I just wallowed in that self pity, self agony, sorrow, depression, and yeah. But I think one thing I learned when I came out of it is we cannot, right? That was because I didn't do as well. Not like I failed, like, or I didn't have a path to do my PhD, but because I didn't do as much as I expected, right? So I think with all of this, having come out of this, I feel like I failure isn't really like a bad thing, right? I know some of us have attached ourselves self worth to always winning. I've always won, right? So when I feel I do not know how to handle it, right? So I would say someone gets in all A's and Monday gets a D, and she's like confused, like how is this possible? Like how, like we- um and does not know how to handle it or receive it was is like a big shocker. But when we sit back, we see that success, failure. People say sometimes failures are necessary. Some of us do not like failure. I do not like failure, but at the end of the day, we have to embrace it, right? And when you fail, it's not like the end of the world. I think it becomes bad when you sit in that failure and refuse to stand up, right? You need to like face it square. Okay, you failed. What do you do to become better? How can you pull yourself out of this thing that has happened, right? How can you be better? Right, and most times when we approach it positively from the positive side, we're able to see that we're able to even do more, achieve more than we would ever think, right? So failure does not define you, rather it shapes you, it builds you to become better at a thing, right? So we see that Thomas Edison had to like try to do, is it Thomas Edison, is it a light bulb or the electricity and stuff like that? Had to do like for multiple times and failed. Just imagine one of the failures is just like, okay, I give up. I'm no longer doing this again. All of his efforts will go to waste, and there will be no mention of him in the history books. But because we persevere, that's why there's always second chances because we persevere and we, as children of God, believe that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. I feel like that's one thing. We see that we excel more than we ever think when we embrace the lessons that comes with failure, and then do better and even more than we can ever think or imagine. So this is just for me to you today. Do embrace that failure when you do not sink in that despair, right? Just rise up from it like phoenix, and you could be much more than you ever think. Those lessons will build you for a greater life, a greater future. I'm better now. I know how to do things better. My failures definitely do not define me because I've moved on from there and I've seen how to do things better, to work better, and to achieve better success. So that is it from me today. Learn to embrace your failure, and to deal with it right in the right way, in a positive way. So until I come your way next time, I remember this is Chukwudeke, and this is the Also Girl podcast. See you.